Hi, it's Katrina.
Number 9. The Prehistoric Beast. In April 2023, an angler from Arkansas reeled in a prehistoric river monster weighing a whopping 102 pounds. People reel in river monsters all the time, but this was particularly impressive because Robert Murphy wasn't in a fishing boat, he was in a kayak. Robert is a resident of Fayetteville. He took an excursion following the Upper White River near Goshen looking for walleye. What he found instead was the North American paddlefish. The paddlefish has been lurking in our Earth's ocean since 50 million years before the dinosaurs lived. It's a giant bony fish. The prehistoric beast is also known as a spoonbill, thanks to its long protuberance sticking out from its face. Its long facial feature can often be a third of the fish's entire body length. According to Roger, he bumped the fish with his lure, not even trying to catch it. The lure hooked to the top of the creature's tail, then suddenly they were in a battle of life and death. It took an hour for Roger Murphy to pull the fish into his kayak. Then he had to go on a mission to get it measured. He was in the middle of nowhere, so he had to transport it in his kayak. It took him 20 hours before he found a FedEx office where he could weigh his catch. It was just shy of the state record, which was set in 2020 with a catch of 118.5 pounds. The really crazy part is that Roger's fish was significantly lighter than the biggest North American paddlefish. The largest can weigh over 160 pounds. Number 8. The Thames monster. 7 years ago, a mysterious creature was filmed moving through the water of London's River Thames. That's the enormous river that has flowed through the heart of London since the first people settled there. Nobody knows what exactly was captured on the footage. Some said it was a lost whale. Others said it was a sea beast that strayed from the deep ocean. The creature was only seen for a brief minute, and it hasn't been seen again since. Not until now. In 2023, yet another mysterious creature was filmed as a vague black shape moving across the water of the river. People are calling it the Thames monster. Just like the first time the creature was spotted, its sudden arrival is questionable. The picture randomly appeared online with no truly reliable sources. The picture shows what looks like a serpentine reptilian peeking out from the river's water. The picture isn't so outrageous that it's unbelievable. It's just a shame there isn't more proof. The Thames River has been a source of mystery for centuries. It's also been known to draw in beasts from the deep ocean. In 1788, 17 sperm whales ended up stranded on the river's estuary. In 1809, a 76-foot-long fin whale was captured near Gravesend. Monsters have been swimming up the river for ages. Nobody would be all that surprised if a real sea monster showed up. And now for number 7. But first, it's shoutout time! I want to give a big thank you to George Queeler and Nolia Rico for supporting this channel. Thanks, guys! Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this. Number 7. The Amazon creature. Deep in the Amazon rainforest is said to be a river monster of unimaginable proportions. Fishermen have reported seeing a creature that looks similar to a snake, but also a lot like a toothy fish beast. It's hard to call it either a reptile or a fish, since it has features from both kinds of animals. So what exactly is lurking in the murky depths of the Amazon River? It could be a giant anaconda. In the 19th century, legendary explorer Percy Fawcett described an enormous snake living in the depths of the jungle. The explorer claimed it was 40 feet long, bigger than any other snake seen by human eyes. Locals called the creature Yakumama, which translates to Mother of Water. Throughout the years, there have been a lot of strange sightings that border on unbelievable. Some say they've been serpent-like creatures over 100 feet long in the river. The unfortunate thing is that there isn't any evidence that such a monstrosity exists. Number 6. The Hudson River monster. The Hudson River moves between Poughkeepsie and Manhattan in Washington state. It isn't exactly the most likely place to witness a sea monster, and yet people have been seeing a sea monster here for years. It's become so popular that the creature has its very own nickname, Kipsy. The Hudson River begins in New York's Adirondack Mountains. flows on for 315 miles, and dumps into the Atlantic Ocean. Its tidal estuary is big enough to allow monsters from the sea to sneak in and take a look around. Since the 17th century, people have reported unusual creatures near the mouth of the river. Even Henry Hudson, who the river was named after, had an incident occur on his ship, the Half Moon. In 1609, crew aboard the vessel saw a creature they said had 3 humps on its back. Its head looked like it belonged to a snake, and it moved in a serpentine motion as fast as a small boat. It wouldn't have been that unusual if not for the creature's unimaginable size. It was a verifiable leviathan. Though to be honest, it's hard to know if Henry Hudson's crew can be believed. During their second attempt to find the Northeastern Passage, 2 men on his crew said they saw a mermaid in the Arctic Ocean. Sailors Thomas Hillies and Robert Rayner were adamant they saw a creature with the top half of a woman and the bottom half of a porpoise. So was the crew lying, or were they especially keen at spotting weird sea creatures? People have seen Kipsey, the Hudson River monster, in modern times as well. As recently as 2023, there have been sightings. The problem is that people can say whatever they want. We need solid evidence. If you have any, let us know. Number 5. The Florida River Creature. A river monster from the Amazon was recently found in Florida. It's the arapaima, one of the largest and most dangerous predatory fish on the planet. They can weigh hundreds of pounds and are known for eating entire river systems dry. They are also famous for being able to headbutt a person underwater with enough force to potentially stop their heart. The arapaima is not a fish you want to get in a fight with. If you live in Florida, you need to start being careful in the water, if you weren't already. One of these creatures was just found on the bank of the Caloosahatchee River in Cape Coral. The fish was covered in nearly impenetrable scales and was 10 feet long. It was a real shock to local fishermen like Josh Constantine. Josh told the Florida Sun Sentinel he can't imagine these fish are good for the local ecosystem. Arapaima are some of the only fish that have been known to hunt land creatures. They can leap out of the water and snatch mammals right off the bank of a river. It doesn't seem to be an emergency yet, but the Amazonian river monsters could turn out to be like the invasive snakes that plague Florida's wilderness. They are so big and so ferocious that they could change the natural order of things. They also lay thousands of eggs during their lifetime, which could see them multiply much faster than anyone wants. The big question that no one seems able to answer is, how did the arapaima arrive in Florida? Was it someone's pet that was released into the wild? It seems unlikely considering it was 10 feet long. These fish aren't known for being particularly easy pets. Biologists from Nicholls State University have a strong hunch there are likely more, and they are breeding. Number 4. The African River Dinosaur. Indigenous tribes in Central Africa have been passing an unusual story down for many generations. They say that there is a dinosaur hiding in the rivers of the Congo. The African river monster, according to Congolese folklore, is the last surviving sauropod in the world. Locals don't call it a dinosaur. Instead, they say it's an enormous creature that lives in the rivers of the Congo heartland, not specifically a dinosaur. It's the Western scientists who declared it a dinosaur because of its description as a 4-legged herbivore with a long neck. Those who have seen it with their own eyes simply call it a monster. The Congo Basin is a land of rivers and swamps. There are secret caves carved by the powerful flowing rivers over the past several million years. Rivers have created subterranean caverns where semi-aquatic beasts dwell unseen. Local fishermen live in constant fear of the creature they call Mokele Mbembe. Those whose lives depend on fishing the river say the monster is territorial. It will protect its habitat with violence and vengeance. Any canoe that finds itself too close to the monster is destroyed, and the crew is typically dispatched. One interesting aspect is that when the gigantic river beast kills, it doesn't eat the corpses. It just destroys people, boats, and property, then goes back about its business. Much like the mysterious river monster of the Amazon, the Congo's river beast remains elusive. There is no physical evidence to say it exists, but there is convincing circumstantial evidence. In the 18th century, French missionaries came upon the tracks of an immense animal deep within the jungle. The tracks were larger than those of an elephant. The prints also showed claw marks, which you wouldn't expect from an herbivore dinosaur. It could be that the legend of the dinosaur is all wrong. Mokele Mbembe isn't a sauropod, it's something else entirely. But what? Do you have any theories? Let me know in the comments, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Number 3. China's River Monstrosity. A river monstrosity has been filmed in China's greatest river. The video, which was recently uploaded online, shows a creature that looks oddly like the Loch Ness Monster, only it's on the other side of the world. It looks, at least in the footage, like a gigantic eel swimming through the water of the Yangtze River. The creature in the video is long and dark, resembling similar long dark blobs seen in videos of the Loch Ness Monster. As with any time something strange is caught on video, nobody seems able to agree on what the creature was. Whatever is in the footage was about 10 feet long. It looked like a gnarled stick, yet it was also making twisting, thrashing motions, as if it might be alive. It was spotted in Hubei province near the Three Gorges Dam scenic area. This is a pretty popular spot with tourists. If the creature was around frequently, people would see it all the time. Maybe it was on its way to the ocean. There's no way to say for sure. Deng Li, an expert in reptiles from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, suggested the sea monster was really just an object snagged on the bottom of the reservoir. Others, like Professor Wang Chanfeng, said it could have been an unusually large water snake. Number 2. The Prehistoric Sturgeon. Imagine going fishing for the first time ever and you capture a gargantuan monster so big it makes the news. That's kind of what happened to Steve Eklund and Mark Boyes. The novice fishermen weren't totally new to the sport, but they certainly weren't pros. They went on a guided fishing trip in British Columbia, Canada. It was Father's Day and they were hoping to have a bit of fun. Neither had anticipated hooking a prehistoric sturgeon. Steve and Mark reeled in an epic 100-year-old white sturgeon over 10 feet long. It took 2 hours for them to get the fish into the boat, but it was worth it in the end. The white sturgeon has been around since the days of the dinosaurs. It is the biggest river monster in North America, the biggest freshwater fish at over 1,500 pounds. According to the Fraser River Sturgeon Conservation Society, they can live for 150 years or more. This particular sturgeon was the biggest catch in the history of river monster adventures, the local BC company that took the fishermen on the river. It was over 700 pounds. That's a lot of fish meat. What's really interesting is the way in which it was captured. Steve and Mark didn't just throw their fishing lines in the water and sit around waiting. The guides used sonar equipment to find the biggest fish in the area. Then it was a matter of catching it to take photographs. After the photo shoot and the weigh-in, the old sturgeon was thrown back into the river. Number 1. The ultimate river monster. What do you think was the greatest river monster of all time? In the history of life on this planet, which creature do you think was the most ferocious river monster? Spoiler alert, it was the Spinosaurus. Researchers recently announced that the legendary Spinosaurus was a real-life river monster. Scientists from the University of Portsmouth discovered over 1,000 Spinosaurus teeth. The teeth were scattered throughout the Sahara Desert, a place you wouldn't exactly associate with river monsters. But according to scientists, the Sahara was a much different place 100 million years ago. The Spinosaurus teeth were discovered near the extinct Kem River system. It once flowed through the landmass that is now the Sahara. The Spinosaurus used the river as its primary source of food. This came as a big revelation to scientists because they'd always assumed the Spinosaurus lived on land. This thing was bigger than a T-Rex and just as mean. Its skull alone was 6 feet long, with a total body length of around 60 feet. The Spinosaurus seems like a creature that would be too big to fit in a river, but scientists think it was semi-aquatic. It swam in the vast rivers of the dinosaur world, hunting marine reptiles and whatever else it could get its jaws on. But it could also move on land, stomping around on its hefty legs. If you were alive 100 million years ago, crocodiles would be the last thing to worry about when going to the river. There were 60-foot-long crocodile/dragon/T-Rex hybrids. They skulked in the river and could have bitten you in half, or swallowed you whole if they felt like it. Thanks for watching. What's the craziest fish you've ever caught? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and come back soon. Bye!